In the quiet village of Jelukope, where the wind carried secrets and the night sang songs only the wise could hear, lived a young handsome man named Kanle Agbo. Kanle was the pride of his family. His father had died when he was young, leaving him the only son of Mama Amegashi, a strong woman who raised him with discipline and love. Kanle was known for his intelligence, his respect and above all, his strength. He was a great fisherman, the kind who returned with nets so full the sea itself seemed to favor him. But in Jelukope, even strong men fall, and Kanle's fall had a name. Her name was Lumosi. Lumosi was beauty itself. Her skin glowed like she'd been kissed by the morning sun. Her laughter rang like a bell through the market square, and her walk could silence drummers in mid-beat. She was the daughter of Togbek Bodo, one of the elders in the village. Everyone admired her, but no one knew her heart like Kanle did. They met one evening by the lagoon. She was washing pots and he was fixing his fishing nets. Their eyes met, and just like that, a spell was cast. Before long, Lumosi became the reason Kanle smiled. She sat beside him under the mahogany tree, shared his kinky, and whispered dreams about the life they would build together. Kanle told Mama Amegashi, "I will marry Lumosi. She's my heartbeat." Mama Amegashi only smiled. She had seen love before. She had also seen how love could break a man's bone from the inside. But her son was happy, and a mother's heart cannot fight true love. The day Kanle went to Togbek Bodo's house to ask for Lumosi's hand, the old man smiled proudly. "My daughter is yours, Kanle," he said, "but you must build her a house first. My daughter cannot sleep in a fisherman's hut." Kanle nodded. "I will build it. Even if I have to fish with my hands, I will build it." For months, Kanle worked like a man possessed. He fished day and night. He cut wood from the forest. He borrowed money from the village savings group. He even sold his father's canoe, his inheritance, just to build Lumosi a two-room house with a wide veranda. People whispered, "This love will make him a king one day." But not all smiles are clean. Unknown to Kanle, Lumosi's heart was not steady. A trader from Aflau, Jijo, had been visiting her in secret. Jijo was older, richer and gave her gifts of golden earrings, sweet-smelling perfumes and city dresses. Lumosi enjoyed Kanle's loyalty, but she loved Jijo's wealth. One evening, just as Kanle completed the house, he went to Lumosi's father again. "I have built the house. I am ready to marry her." The elders set the date. The village rejoiced, drums were beaten, and palm wine flowed like water. Kanle's friends patted his back. "You are a real man," they said. But days before the marriage, something strange happened. Lumosi disappeared. She left the village quietly at dawn, without a goodbye, without a letter. The only thing she left behind was the golden earring Kanle had once admired. Rumors spread faster than Hamatan fire. She went to Aflau. She ran with the trader Jijo. She never loved Kanle. Kanle's world shattered. He walked to the sea that night and screamed her name until the waves swallowed his voice. His mother begged him to come home, but his heart had gone with the woman who betrayed him. His debts began to rise. The house he built with sweat and borrowed money stood empty, mocking him every time he walked past. People started whispering, "Fisherman Kanle has lost his mind though." He drank more palm wine than he sold fish. He stopped going to the lagoon. His canoe rotted. His hand shook. Months later, he heard Lumosi had married Jijo in Aflau. She wore golden beads, white lace, and laughed loudly as the drums sang for her new husband. That night, Kanle returned to the house he built for her, laid on the veranda, and cried like a child. He whispered, "Lumosi, you didn't just live with him, you carried my soul away." But the gods of Jelukope do not sleep. One stormy night, as Lumosi and Jijo returned from a celebration, their car crashed on their Aflao road. The trader died instantly. Lumosi was brought back to Jelukope broken, paralyzed from the waist down. When Kanle saw her again, she wasn't the woman with glowing skin. She was pale, with empty eyes. She whispered, "Kanle, forgive me." But Kanle's heart had grown cold. "Lumosi," he said quietly, "you killed a king in me." Years passed. Kanle became a lonely man, walking along the shore, talking to the sea like an old friend. The house he built for Lumosi was never lived in. It remained a ghost house, a reminder of how love can build a man and how betrayal can destroy him. Lumosi lived her remaining years in regret, watching Kanle from a distance, knowing she had destroyed not only a love story, but also a man's destiny. When Kanle died, the whole village mourned. Some said his heart had been buried long ago, the day Lumosi walked away. And so, in Jelukope, the elders tell this story to every young man. When you love, love with your heart, but never give your crown away. For some smiles come to build you, and others come to break your throne. The village of Jelukope fell silent. The sea, which once sang to him, now whispered like it mourned one of its own. The fishermen refused to go fishing for 3 days. They said the waves looked angry, as though the spirit of Kanle had entered the waters he once ruled. At dawn, his body was buried behind the mahogany tree near the lagoon, the same tree where he and Lumosi had first met. The women of the village wept, and those who had once mocked him cried freely, because they all knew Kanle's heart was pure. But there was one woman who couldn't stop crying, Lumosi. She watched from afar, sitting in her wheelchair, trembling with guilt. Her hands shook as the funeral drums beat. She wanted to go near, to touch his coffin, to whisper an apology, but the villagers wouldn't let her. They spat on the ground when they saw her. "Stay away, Lumosi," they warned. "You are the reason he's gone. The gods haven't forgotten what you did." Every word pierced her soul like a dagger. That night, when everyone had left the gravesite, Lumosi rolled herself there. The moon was bright and the air thick with sorrow. She placed flowers on his grave and whispered, "Kanle, please forgive me. You built a home for me, but I destroyed the home inside you." She wept until her voice broke. Her tears mixed with the soil that covered him. From that day onward, strange things began to happen to Lumosi. She would wake up in the middle of the night, hearing Kanle's voice calling her name softly, like the wind whispering across the waves. Sometimes, she'd see footprints in the sand outside her hut, though no one had passed by. Other times, she'd hear water dripping inside her room, though no container was leaking. One evening, she fell asleep in her wheelchair near the window and dreamt she was standing by the sea, whole again, walking, smiling and calling out for Kanle. But when she turned, she saw him standing far away by the lagoon, wearing his fisherman's clothes. He looked sad. "Lumosi," he said, his voice echoing like thunder. "Why did you come back when you never stayed?" She woke up screaming. Her father, Togbekbodo, called the priest of the shrine. The priest shook his head after performing a divination. "The spirit of the man she wronged is restless," he said. "He cannot cross the land of peace because his love still cries on earth. The woman must cleanse her hands of betrayal." A cleansing ritual was arranged at the shore. They took her to the beach at dawn, washed her hands and feet with seawater, and offered libation to the gods. The priest said, "Say his name. Ask for forgiveness." Lumosi, shaking and sobbing, whispered, "Kanle, please forgive me. I did not know love can bleed like this." But the waves grew violent, crashing harder as if rejecting her apology. The priest frowned. "The gods have not accepted. Your tears will continue until your soul joins his. From that day, Lumosi became a shadow of herself. She stopped eating. She stopped talking. Every evening, she would be wheeled to the shore, staring endlessly at the sea, hoping to see Kanle's reflection in the water. One night, during a heavy storm, her father found her wheelchair empty near the water. Her footprints, weak but clear, led straight into the sea. They searched all night, but Lumosi was never found. Some said she had walked into the waves to meet Kanle. Others said the gods took her to pay the price of her betrayal. Weeks later, fishermen reported seeing two shadows walking hand in hand across the lagoon under the moonlight. A tall man and a woman in white. When they tried to approach, the figures vanished into the mist. From that night onward, no one dared to build near Kanle's house again. It stood untouched, vines crawling over the walls, and its windows open to the sea breeze. The villagers called it the house of the lovers who died twice. And so, the elders of Jelukope tell this tale to their children. Do not play with the heart that loves you truly, for when love dies unjustly, even the gods mourn. And sometimes, the sea remembers what men forget. Years passed in Jelukope, but the story of Kanle and Lumosi never faded. The sea still roared at night as if mourning them. Children grew up hearing warnings. Never walk by the lagoon at midnight. The lovers still roam hand in hand. The house Kanle built for Lumosi stood by the shore, abandoned and tangled with weeds. People said it breathed at night. Sometimes fishermen claimed to see smoke rising from its chimney, though no fire had been lit there in years. Others swore they heard laughter, soft, like that of a woman, followed by a man's gentle voice saying, Lumosi, come home. No one dared to go near until one day a stranger arrived. His name was Ganyo, a man from Ho who said he wanted to settle in Jelukope to fish. He was tall with a proud look and eyes that had seen hardship. The villagers warned him not to live by the lagoon, but he only laughed. Ghosts, he said, if ghosts live there, they would help me sell my fish. He was determined to live in that house, so he cleaned it up. He repaired the roof, swept the dust, painted the walls and even planted flowers outside. For the few weeks, everything was peaceful. He caught fish, sold them, and made friends with the children who called him Uncle Ganyo. But peace doesn't stay long in cursed places. One moonlit night, Ganyo sat outside cleaning his fishing net when he heard faint humming, a woman's voice. It came from inside the house. He froze. He thought maybe it was the wind, but the humming turned into singing, an old Ewe love song his grandmother used to sing. The hairs on his neck rose. He picked up his lantern, stepped inside, and the song stopped. He searched the rooms, no one. But when he turned toward the mirror in the hall, he saw something. Two figures behind him, a man and a woman. Their faces were pale, their eyes deep and empty. The man wore a fisherman's cloth, and the woman wore a white wrapper with beads around her neck. He turned quickly. No one was there, but the air smelled of salt and seaweed. That night, Ganyo couldn't sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the woman's reflection, crying, calling his name, though he had never met her. The next morning, he went to the chief's palace and told them what he saw. The elders looked at one another silently. Old Togbekbodo, now grey and frail, shook his head slowly. You saw Kanle and Lumosi, he said in a trembling voice. That house is their grave on earth. You must leave before the sea calls you to. But Ganyo was stubborn. Chief, I fear nothing. I will live there and pray. And the dead cannot harm the living. So he stayed. The more he stayed, the more the house began to change him. He started waking up with wet footprints leading to his bed. He heard laughter in the kitchen at midnight. His fishing nets began to tear mysteriously. The villagers noticed his skin growing pale and his eyes hollow. One day, a small boy ran to the market screaming, "Uncle Ganyo is talking to someone in the house, but no one is there." They rushed there and found him sitting on the veranda, whispering softly to the air, "Lumosi, please don't cry. I'll fix the house for you. I'll finish what he started." The villagers dragged him away. He struggled and screamed, "Let me go. She needs me. She's lonely." That night, a storm hit Jelukope, the biggest in years. The next morning, when the villagers went to check, Ganyo was gone. The house was broken again, half buried in the sand. On the veranda were two sets of footprints, a man's and a woman's, leading straight into the sea. From that day, no one dared to speak loudly near the lagoon. The elders poured libation and sealed the area, declaring it forbidden. But sometimes, when the moon is full, fishermen still claim they see three shadows walking along the shore: a man in a fisherman's clothes, a woman in white, and a third figure holding a lantern. They walk together, silently, as the waves crash around them. The villagers say the spirits of Kanle, Lumosi and Ganyo now guard the lagoon, forever bound by love, betrayal, and the curse of a house that never forgot. So, whenever a stranger comes to Jelukope asking for a land near the sea, the elders only smile and say, "You can build anywhere, but not where love still cries." The end. Thank you for watching my video to the end. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to my channel for more African tales. Until next time, may your path be blessed.